Good evening, you're about to listen to the Odd Pod. We don't know why, however we are grateful you chose to. We do wish to inform you that the views, opinions and overall morality do not necessarily reflect those of the station, sponsors or musical entities. If you should choose to continue, and we sincerely hope that you do, just know, we try to advise you against these actions and we are not responsible for any damage done to your sanity, morals or ideals. Thank you. Here comes that terrible siren.
Portions of the day's programming are reproduced by means of electrical transcriptions or tape recordings.
And now, broadcasting from the heart of Metro Detroit, you're listening to the Odd Pod.
Double the D's for double the fun.
We'll do it live! Fuck it!
We'll do it live!
What's up, guys? That's not for YouTube. It sounded like a nice...
You got to be closer.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I'm not used to sitting over here.
I know.
This is Ace's spot. I feel out of place sitting in his throne. But I like that I get to see all the doodads in front of you.
Doodads and gizmos.
Doodads, gizmos. Don't feed them after midnight.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You're listening to the Odd Pod on TapDetroit.com, and I'm your host, Odd, and with me tonight is my other lovely co-host, Corey.
Fucking Corey.
There FC from here on out.
We got to figure out a moniker for me.
Yeah. And you'll hear giggling from the couch, and that will be Billiam.
Not Stoned William.
Not yet.
So we've got a pretty big show for you guys tonight, and I'm not gonna jibber jabber too much at you with the stuff from the week. There is one thing that I wanted to bring up before we get into everything else, and I had fun this week. I got to serve divorce papers for someone.
Really?
Yes.
Now, see, I feel like this is a segue into Tell Me a Story.
It could be, but
let's keep it short.
Yeah, it's going to be super short. So I ended up being asked if I would mind going to serve divorce papers for a friend.
I feel like you'd be excited.
I was. Like, hell yeah, let's do it. So I went out with this person to the person's house that we were supposed to be serving. Mm-hmm. And I posed as DoorDash.
Really?
Yeah, I knocked on the door and I posed as DoorDash.
Did you have your little red bag and everything?
No, I had nothing with me.
Oh.
So I had stuck the papers in my back pocket on my right side.
Professional.
And I had put my phone in my top pocket on my jacket on my right side so it could at least film. Or at least that's what I was trying to do, is to at least get proof that...
You were there.
Yeah. Well, it got only audio because it shifted and my pocket's deep and yada yada. But I knocked on the door and a person answered the door, and I said, I have DoorDash for so-and-so. Well, he didn't order DoorDash. Are you sure? Because this is the address it gave me and that's the name it gave me. Mm-hmm. This person then calls for the person that I need, which now lets me know they're there.
Right.
And I end up talking to him and I say, I've got a DoorDash order for you. It's out in the car. It's pretty big. I just wanted to make sure someone was here because no one was answering the phone. Mm. And he was like, well, I didn't order anything. I was like, are you sure? Because here, hold on. And I pull my phone out and I was like, I can show you right here. It has your name and the order and everything. And as I'm pulling it out, I reach back behind me and grab the paperwork.
Very sneaky.
So when I turn the phone around and he leans in to look, I tap him with the paperwork and said, you just got served, bud. Turns out it was the person's mom that had answered the door. Mm-hmm. She immediately calls me a sneaky bastard and wishes that something fucks me up today.
But why are some people so jaded to get it's a divorce, it's gonna happen. You can't avoid it forever. Just let it happen. These things happen.
Well, and immediately after it's oh, it's good news, but that's still really sneaky.
It was sneaky,
Yeah.
and well played on your part. You know,
Right?
I mean, you probably didn't even have to do all that.
No, I didn't, but I figured, you know, some random person shows up at your door. The only way that that's going to happen and get away with it is a DoorDash order.
Yeah, but
Uber
like,
Eats,
what's
something like that? Yeah.
Yeah.
what's the goal of sitting in limbo? You know, like you're not going to get back together with the person.
No.
It's not happening.
It was really just laziness on their part.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. But luckily, everything went smoothly and papers were handed off. And it looks like everything's moving along. I talked to my friend, and it seems like things are progressing the way they need to now.
You know, DoorDash has started doing a lot more. Like, you were delivering bikes and stuff in your little tiny PT Cruiser. They should offer that.
DoorDash, you just got served.
Exactly.
I love it. Where do I sign up?
All right, so we got some new merch, and we've got a new hashtag that we're running with right now. And it's going to be the one that we use for everything. So if you share or basically do anything to help promote us, please make sure you use the hashtag Cult of Odd. That's right, Cult of Odd.
It's finally happening, everybody.
We talked about it for a year. And if you're already here, I mean, you're already a member. And if this is your first time listening to us, welcome to the Cult of Odd.
One of us.
One of us.
Oh, okay.
One's all we need. So if you go to my shop, the Little Shop of Oddities, there are 2 designs now with the Cult of Odd hashtag on it. There's Cult of Odd in black lettering and Cult of Odd in white lettering. Black lettering's on light colored clothing, white lettering's on dark colored clothing.
And bonus, 50% of my posts regarding tonight's podcast has had said hashtag.
Bravo.
I'm getting better.
Good on you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, so tonight we have an interview with a very well-known character actor. He's a comedian, he's a writer, he's a painter. As I said before, all-around Renaissance guy. His name is Larry Hankin. You may know him from things like Friends or Breaking Bad or Home Alone or Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, Billy Madison. I mean,
I didn't realize he was in so much. And
Yeah.
then I was watching that interview, and I learned a lot about him. And the cool thing about it was, like, he doesn't even talk about him being a painter or that being, like, a passion of his until later on in the interview. When we first started watching it, I was looking at the paintings in the background like, that is so cool.
See, I knew going in, of course, because I did my research and, you know, did my homework and everything. And
I could tell.
And as soon as the camera was on and I could see him and I saw those 2 paintings in the background, I'm like, that's fucking awesome. I gotta, at least, because I had intended to ask him about it, but the fact that I had the visual there, and one of the ones that was hanging there was one of the ones that I really liked.
I liked the one on the left a lot, and he kept pointing to the one, it would have been his left.
Yeah.
But it would have been my left.
You like the guy in the hoodie that's walking.
Yeah.
That's the one that I liked as well.
I really like that one myself.
Yeah. Incidentally, if you go to Larry Hankin or thereallarryhankin.com, the link will be posted with this episode. He actually sells prints of those and on T-shirts and other stuff too. So
that's cool.
If you want to see it and like it, you can buy it. It was, man. This last 3 weeks has just been surreal, and that interview alone was a feather in my cap moment. Is the best way to say it. I've got a few of those in my career, but for that one was definitely a feather in my cap. And everything that's coming up.
Do you mean that in the terms of, like, you feel like the captain now, or
kinda?
Yeah.
Like, I feel legitimized in a way.
I did notice you made your first TikTok with voice, and leading up to this moment, you're always like, once I have X amount, once I can go live, once I have this, once I have that. But it seems like this kind of pushed you over that edge where you're ready to go to that hump and see what's over there.
Well, so the talking thing was 100 followers on TikTok, and I crossed that fairly quickly within the last couple of weeks. Like, we're closing in on 130 now.
I'm sorry that you lost 2.
That's fine.
I deleted my account.
It's all right. It happens.
I'll make another.
It's like I said, I feel legitimized. Like, I don't know. I try to stay fairly humble with this. I try not to act like I'm any bigger deal than I actually am. For the most part, I see myself as a guy with a microphone and a hobby. But that hobby has apparently been more attention-grabbing than I had initially assumed. And the fact that I do have a unique style of how I do interviews and what I find interesting, subject matter-wise, for those interviews seems to really be resonating with the people I'm going to be talking to. Mm-hmm. Tonight, however, you guys are going to get interview roulette from that interview. So when we go to our break like we normally do at 8:30, you're going to get interview roulette with Larry Hankin, and then you're going to get you're going to get 3 songs like you normally would. So the fun size this week will be 30 minutes of us bullshitting.
I think I could do that.
17 of Larry Hankin.
Uh-huh.
And then however many minutes of music it is, and then when we come back, that'll be the end of the fun size for this week. However, and the reason why you're not getting the full interview is because it is almost 2 hours long.
Yeah, that's a lot for the whole... That would be tonight's show.
Yeah, that would be... We'd do an hour, and then that would be it. Mm-hmm. It is almost 2 hours long, but I am going to tell you, in my opinion, it is worth the time suck, as it were. You can turn it on. You don't have to actually watch it. It is a video one. That's the other thing, too, is like you're going to see him and me talking.
I love that, by the way. That's a nice new addition to the podcast.
Thank you.
It puts a face to the voice.
Yes.
It shows people how odd you actually are.
Yes.
Plus, you got that dope-ass banner.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just for us now.
No, and you could even see the poster there.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
that part's a surprise for the viewers.
It's a poster of Corey naked, just so you're aware.
Spicy.
We're definitely breaking some YouTube standards there. But no, so like I said, it's 2 hours. So what's going to happen is tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., that interview posts to our YouTube channel. And I am going to say, if you're not already subscribed to our YouTube channel, you should be. There'll be a link on the Facebook page for the Odd Pod for the interview when it posts. However, moving forward, we are going to create a new tier on the Patreon. So for $5 a month, which is what most people are at right now, you're going to get all of our content, like our episodes and stuff. So like you normally would, you'll still get the full episodes and the entire back category. And with the interviews, you're going to get interview roulette in the episode. At the $10 tier, you're going to have all of that other stuff. You're going to have access to our entire backlog. You're going to have the full episodes. You're going to get the shout out on the show. You're going to also get that 10% off coupon from Motor City Candle Works. And then you'll get the interviews in full. Larry Hankin's interview is the only one that's going up to YouTube in its entirety for free. Everyone after that, there'll be a clip that goes up, probably the interview roulette segment, that'll go up. The full interview will be behind the Patreon wall, and it'll be at $10. I think that's fair. I understand that we are a very blue-collar oriented show and that most of our listeners are blue-collar as well. However, there's a lot of work and legwork that's going into all these. So, don't hate me.
Give them a freebie to hook them, huh?
Yeah, well, you know, I grew up in the 80s and 90s when Dare was there, and they always told you people were going to be trying to give you drugs for free. That's not the case.
I wish.
Right?
Although, to be fair, you
To be fair.
if you want to get free weed, just tell a stoner that you've never smoked weed before.
Right.
Yeah.
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 Everybody wants to pop that
Works
green
every
cherry.
time. Yeah, you'll get like 16 offers. You want to smoke this? Try this. Try this. What you got to do, see, no, that's an indica. Try this. This is sativa. You know, they'll bring you down the whole rabbit hole.
Yeah, but don't smoke an indica and a sativa at the same time, otherwise you'll wind up with Forrest Whitaker eye.
That's okay.
Speaking from experience, huh?
Yeah, I've been there a couple of times.
I like the idea of changing the Patreon. It makes sense.
Yeah. Which also means at this point, I need you guys. I need everyone that's listening. I need numbers because I have an opportunity here to grow the show in a way that is going to be huge. I have 2 months to show growth. So that means I need people liking the Facebook page if they haven't already. I need people subscribed to the YouTube. I need people joining the Patreon. I need my download numbers to go up. I need my share numbers to go up. I need your help at this point. If you do truly support and love what we do, then now is the time that I need you. Because if in 2 months I can show the growth, there is something that is available to me that will allow me to make upgrades and continue on this path for celebrity interviews that will also get me A-list interviews.
Which will be so cool. And to be fair, to not consider...
I'm doing everything I can to make Huda shit his pants. That's what it comes down to. If you want to see Huda shit his pants, help.
I've got an S21. We could film it.
That's the
What were you
goal.
saying, though?
With a really nice camera. Well, Larry, I would consider Larry an A-list celebrity.
I would too.
Like maybe, not of the time or era, but like he's writing a book, which he talked about in the interview.
Mm-hmm.
Excited to read that. Maybe after it publishes, we can get him back.
Well, after we did the interview, he and I talked off, camera and everything, and he specifically asked if he could come back when the book publishes, that he had fun, and that he'd like to come back and talk about the book, and that he'd be sending me a copy that I could read before we did the interview.
Very cool. He looked like he had fun. When you asked him certain questions, you could just see him light up in the interview.
It was fantastic.
And, oh yeah. And
Definitely
he's a
go watch
talker. He is a talker.
Oh, yeah.
Through and through.
Well, I told you, he tells stories like we do.
Yeah.
And
our interview stretches to 2.
I mean, yeah, time flies when you're having fun, right?
Oh, yeah.
yeah, and that's the thing, is we were only supposed to do an hour.
Yeah. And I remember you saying in the interview, you're like, I think we might run over time. Is that okay? And he was like, oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't
care. He was excited.
Yeah, well, like I said, there's a way that I conduct interviews that is not something that they're used to. Mm-hmm. One, the interview roulette idea, they absolutely seem to love.
It's a great, fun game.
It's a great hook. But the way that I approach talking to a celebrity is unlike anything that they've really experienced before. And because of that makes me stand out to them. And I'm hoping it makes me stand out to the rest of you as well. Mm-hmm. I had Ace come over earlier in the week to... actually, I asked him if he wanted to see it before it released and have a frame of reference for tonight. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, the weather has got Ace's body all racked up in pain, and I wasn't going to try and have him drive over here, come down the stairs, sit in a chair that's not necessarily all that comfortable for 3 hours. Yeah, and then have to then go up the stairs and try to get himself home when it's even colder out.
And what are the odds the universe would just put me off of work, ready to go?
Right? Yeah.
So, I love that it works out.
Ace came over to watch it, and we made it about halfway through before he had to take off home because someone had come by. And he had said he watched a few interviews with Larry before this, when I had originally told him I had gotten the interview with Larry Hankin.
Okay.
He went and watched a few interviews that he had done for other shows and other things. And he told me as he was leaving, he's like, he really enjoyed that. Mm-hmm. That is the most engaged I had seen him in an interview. He's like, I watched 3 or 4 of them, and I don't know what the hell those other people were doing, but this interview puts them to shame.
Larry spoke on it too. He was like, you keep picking all my favorites. You
yeah.
know? And that just is a credit to your research, obviously. In the interview roulette, I think it's going to be the last question that our listeners hear, but not the last question that he answers.
No.
It got really heartfelt.
Yes.
And that's what I like about that game, because you weren't expecting an answer that he gave. And it was awesome.
And that's why interview roulette, for at least this part of it ends there, is because that was a great story to end on.
It was.
So when you're able to hear the whole interview, you're going to laugh, you're going to cry, you're going to definitely bust out laughing at the phone calls.
They're great.
In true odd fashion.
Yeah. We left it in. There's almost no editing to the interview whatsoever. Like, the only thing that I did is I put a title thing in the front of it and something at the end of it. But other than that, it is how it happened.
Well, you blurred out that poster behind you of me, too, because, you know.
Oh,
YouTube,
yeah.
It's not the hub. It's
Well,
just
I
YouTube.
did say it was a little editing.
Well, like I said.
But it was a true joy getting to speak to him. And I really hope you guys like the interview. If you go watch it, and you should be going to watch it tomorrow, comment on it, say what you think, like it, share it, comment. That's what I need. I need this to go far and wide.
Interact.
Yeah.
We're pretty interactive, too, with our community that we have already set up with between Discord and Facebook.
Yep. Twitter and TikTok and everything else.
That's a you thing. I don't get on Twitter.
Yeah,
I just deleted my TikTok.
I know.
I'm there on on Facebook.
Yeah. We've got the Facebook group. We've got the Facebook page. I've got an Instagram for the Odd Pod. I've got a TikTok for the Odd Pod. I've got a Twitter account. And basically, if it's social media, I'm there.
I love that you set up a link tree and got the NFC scanners, because I'm going to use that like a lot.
So much.
People aren't ready.
Yeah, because it's so easy, and even if you forget, you're going to be like, "What's this thing on the back of my phone?"
Never forget now.
Yeah, like, oh, hey, you, come here,
Get over here.
give me your phone.
Well, when I'm at work and stuff, and I'm talking about the podcast, because I've asked you this question too, like, how do you describe our podcast? And the three of us have three different answers.
Well, and
now
that,
they can find out for themselves.
Yep, and that description is going to change probably even again.
Yeah. That's what I love about the show.
Yeah, we were talking about the direction earlier of what we wanted to do, and my goal is to add the celebrity interviews as another piece of the show. But I'm not looking to completely change the show.
Right.
I like the hodgepodge shows. I like the more topic-oriented shows, and I definitely like the celebrity interviews.
You like having conversations.
I do.
And the reason you call this a hobby is because it's something you love. It's been a passion for a majority of your life. You know? And it's not a hobby, Chris.
I understand that, and I'm getting there. Like I had told the publicist, because I have to come up with an EPK, which thankfully I have someone helping me with that as well.
Yeah, I didn't even know what that was earlier. And then here you are to save the day, and you're like, well, it's something that people can give to others so that they get interest in your show.
Yep.
How cool.
But when it comes down to it, is like the best I could do is bullet points. I am terrible at talking about myself in a positive fashion about the quote-unquote successes.
Yeah. Do it in a sad way.
Yeah,
like whatever works.
But it's still it's not in character for me. Like, I've been getting messages all week from people. Congratulations. We're so happy to see that you're getting this opportunity and you're growing, and all your hard work and determination. And I'm sitting there looking at my messenger and every one of these coming in, and I'm like, guys, I don't know how to handle this. People are praising me. What do I do?
It's called Do Not Disturb. And then, much like birthdays, you send out a mass thank you, everybody, for the messages that you've sent me over the week.
Hence the talking TikTok.
Yep.
That's what it was? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Hence the talking TikTok. Seriously though, I don't know how to handle praise. It's not that I'm not praised. It's not like Ollie tells me I'm a piece of shit on a daily basis. I mean, she does, but but no, like, she's super supportive and has always believed in me and whatnot. But like, I was trying to explain to her, I was like, I don't necessarily expect her to. It's presumed. And I was trying to get it across to her. In my mind, it's kind of like, my mom thinks I'm cool.
Yeah.
So
if you do those kind of things with your mother,
Not the sexual shit.
To each their own. You
know? No, but like she's always been supportive of the show and the creativity and stuff. And even if she's tired of the jokes, the creativity and the effort and the dream of mine. But it's weird because, like I said, it equates to like my mom thinks I'm cool to me. Like you expect you presume like your wife or your mother or whatnot are going to be supportive of the things that you do. So it doesn't
depends on how healthy your relationship is.
This is true.
Because the more healthier it is, the more honest people are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It doesn't devalue it, but it kind of does in my head for some reason.
Well, the first show I attended of yours, I want to say like 7 to 10 years ago. How long have you been married?
To Ollie?
Yeah.
5.
Okay, so I'd say about 7 years ago.
Yeah.
It's the first show I ever attended, and it was right here.
Because I was still with my ex,
with
right?
a different layout. No, Ollie was here. That's
okay.
when I met Joel and Annie and all that.
Okay, so Ollie and I were dating at that point.
Yeah. And you've been at this.
Yeah.
You've been at it. It's a passion. It's your dream.
Yeah.
So, get over yourself.
I'm learning.
Talk about yourself.
Slowly but surely, I'm learning.
Proud of yourself.
Yeah.
And fucking do it.
That's the weird thing. Like, we all in this room have our own battles with anxiety and depression and everything else.
Oh, yeah.
Being proud of myself feels foreign.
Mm-hmm.
Ha. Lol. Proud of me.
Right, but you get what I mean.
Exactly. I know what you mean.
And so I am starting to become proud of myself, and I am starting to see that it's not just lip service or like, oh yeah, way to go, kid. That's a really cool. What did you do? Is that a dragon? What is that on the fridge?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a learning curve. Like, not only is everything shifting in my life for the show, but everything is starting to shift in my head and personally too. So if I become a big egomaniacal driven asshole, I'm sorry, but
we'll cut you down.
Yeah.
I got you.
Okay, good.
Yeah, that's why I'm here.
That's what friends are for, my guy.
Keep me grounded. But we are building a team. Which is really cool. I've got someone helping me with research now. I've got someone who has offered to help with like the videos and some of the editing and stuff to take some of that off my plate. So really all I have to worry about is like putting a regular show together and, doing the legwork for the interviews and everything like that. But I've got Billy's girlfriend, Ari, helping me with the EPK, and I'm sure...
And Mr. Brown?
Yeah.
I mean, he's been there, day oneer.
Yeah, Mr. Brown's always been pushing my stuff as well.
Yep.
So we are definitely putting together the Cult of Odd.
Yeah. And I like that hashtag, by the way.
Yeah.
Because we've talked so
with
long.
this whole year. Yeah. The whole first year of me talking about I've got an idea for a religion and everybody cutting me off, be like, it's a cult.
I can't wait till we make the Kool-Aid.
It's not Kool-Aid.
Okay.
It's not even Flavor Aid.
Uh-huh.
It is colorful, sugar, flavored water.
Whiskey.
I mean...
All right, so the time is coming where you're going to get the interview roulette with Larry Hankin. You're also going to get songs from the Chinchillionaires, the Lonely Ones, and Wildstreet. You're going to get We Are Legion, Real Big Trouble, and Miss Sleazy coming up in the break in just about a minute and a half. Thank you again for everyone who is here tonight. If this is your first time listening, great. If you've been a fan, even better. I literally couldn't have done this without y'all. And I know I'm asking for more help and whatnot. But this is to get where I've wanted to be. This is to get me to that point where I've been working for 14 years, essentially. We got close with Mad World Radio, but, shit fell apart there, and we were on the track again with Friday Night Freak Show, but life happened, and that had to go away. So, third time's a charm.
Yeah.
So, here we go.
The trick is just never stop trying.
Yeah. That's it. Like, no matter how crazy your dream is, if you've got something that you want to try to accomplish before you're no longer sucking air on this plane, go for it.
I mean, you think about it even with COVID. Look at how many streamers are out there doing it now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different markets.
TikTok.
Yeah. So, I mean, just keep plugging away. If there's something you truly want to do, I recommend that you go do it. Start making the steps, even if they're small ones, because small steps turn into big ones, and big ones turn into leaps, and leaps turn into success.
Yep.
And never be afraid to fail. Failure is how we learn. All right. You're going to get the interview with Larry Hankin just after these commercials, and we'll be back. We'll see you in about 30 minutes or so.
Now it's time for the Odd Pods Patreon shout-out. Big thanks to Bryce Rogers, Tiki, Billy Yum, Justin Burnside and Zaldor of Zaldor's World Podcast for becoming a patron. We hope you enjoy our long, uncut and girthy episodes until you're fully satisfied and left shaking from laughter. For everyone else, you can join our Patreon too. Just head to patreon.com/theoddpod. Become a patron and reap the benefits today.
Are you tired of incense that stinks? Motor City Candleworks is Metro Detroit's #1 source for premium handmade incense, as well as hand sanitizer and now massage oil, with a wide array of scents inspired by Michigan cities and attractions. You're sure to find a fragrance that'll keep your love of the mitten burning all year round. Head to MotorCityCandleworks.com and order yours today. And make sure you find them on Facebook too for all of their upcoming sales and events. Motor City Candleworks. Michigan handmade scents that just make sense.
That smell. The kind of smelly smell.
What's the craziest thing you've done in a car?
Now, are you talking about life or movies?
It does not matter, life or movies.
The craziest thing? I've never done anything crazy in a car, except you're asking a crazy person, have you ever done anything crazy? Me? No, I'm normal. What are you talking about? So I don't remember anything. Nothing comes to mind.
That's fine.
Even let me see. Oh yeah, okay. Well, it's in a partial car.
Well, it counts.
It's in a car. Doobie in Trains, Planes, and Automobiles. Doobie in the Taxiola.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so you know the scene? You're familiar with the scene?
I do. I know Planes, Trains, and Automobiles very well.
Okay. The non-crazy part was I did what you see in the movie. That was normal. I did Doobie, and there was Steve Martin and John Candy in the back seat, and I'm taking him to a motel. Okay, we shot that as written. The real Taxiola was the taxi that I drove into the motel. At the scene after that. In other words, they're in the back seat, I'm driving. I did that scene in the car. Okay, but that's on a set. We're not driving. That was
right.
Green screen. Okay, driving. The Taxiola pulls into the parking lot of the motel. That's the real Taxiola. Okay, that's normal. They took that Taxiola. That's a real taxi, which was dressed. It has all the Mexican stuff that you see when we did that afterwards. They took the wheels off of that car, put it in a sound stage, and we shot the interior of that taxi on a sound stage up on boxes. So when I say partial taxi, it was just the shell of the taxi.
Right.
It's up on boxes. Okay. We did the interior scene that you see in the movie on a sound stage. That was normal. What was crazy, I deem crazy, was John Hughes, after we shot that scene, said, now let's shoot that scene, but you guys improvise that scene. That scene was not in the movie. But John Hughes and the crew shot the exact same scene without the script. We had to improvise. And John didn't want the words in the script. He wanted a new words to the same end. So he had us do it. Like sometimes he'd say, and he wouldn't even be there. He went to another place, which was almost across the street, but it was, I don't know where the hell it was. But he said, excuse me for a second, after we shot the one he took, the one that's in the movie. He said, okay, we got that. Excuse me for a couple of minutes. He's gone 20 minutes. We just sat in this car, just talking about nothing, just blabbering. And then all of a sudden, his voice is in the cab. Hi, guys, can you hear me? Where are you? He says, I'm in another place. I'm watching you through, like Zoom, like video, on a video camera. It was connected to one of the movie cameras.
Okay.
It was in another place. So he said, so let's just do this. So what he had us do for 4 hours, man, after lunch, 4 hours, he just said, okay, Larry, you improvise. Steve and John, you kind of follow the script if you want to. Then John, you and Steve follow the script. Then John, you and Larry follow the script. Steve, you improvise. Steve, you and Larry follow the script. John, you improvise. Okay, now everybody improvise. Now improvise again. Now improvise again.
God, I hope those scenes wound up somewhere.
Yes, they did. Okay, I'll tell you where. But that I don't know, to you that was crazy, but to me that was the craziest thing I've ever done in a car, because we didn't know what the hell we were doing, really. We didn't know why he was doing it, or once he said he got it in the morning when we did the scene that's in the movie, what we were doing 4 hours, because just like you said, I hope this is going to be used, because what the hell are we doing here?
Right.
Now, I just got to tell you two things. John Candy and Steve Martin are amazing improvisers. I mean, I was in Second City. I was, 10 years. Man, I could just about keep up with those guys. And Steve Martin, who had never been in Second City, John Candy had been, or the committee. Steve Martin had never been an improviser, and he was better than the both of us. So that's how great they are, how funny they are. And I worked with John. Okay, what happened to that? I wondered for 2 years. I wondered what happened to that footage, because it was great. I mean, I was there, and I don't know if I was funny. I was just trying to keep up, but I know they were sure as hell. I had to keep a straight face a lot of the times, Okay, so I'm in the delicatessen. I'm in the Greenblatt's delicatessen, which I just found out yesterday is no more. They had to close because of COVID. But I'm in Greenblatt's with a friend, and I was in Christopher Columbus's movie, Home Alone.
Yes, you were.
I'm in Greenblatt's having a ham sandwich. A ham sandwich? No, it's probably corned beef. I was a corned beef sandwich, and I hear, hey, Larry, and I turn around, and it's Christopher Columbus with his family. He says, hey, Larry, how you doing? And I go, oh, hey, Larry. And my friend says, hey, why don't you introduce me? I go, oh, yeah, sure, come on. So I go, hey, Chris, this is my friend, Marcia, and he goes, oh, this is my family and my wife, this is my son, blah, blah, blah. I said, oh, okay, I just want to say hello. And, he said, well, what are you doing? I said, I'm doing this. What are you doing? I'm doing that. And then he says, well, by the way, I saw the movie, and it's funny as hell. Great. You did a great job. And I said, oh, yeah. Well, I saw the movie too. Yeah. So you like, what did you like about it? Well, there's nothing to like about it. It was just you three guys. What movie did you talk about? Well, the film short. What film short? The film short of you, Doobie, in the taxi cab with John and Steve. We didn't do a film short. Yeah, where did you see this? John Hughes had a birthday party. John, by this time, had passed away.
Right.
During this conversation. So, well, when John was alive, he had a birthday party, and he had several friends come over to his house. And as the entertainment, he showed the film short of Doobie and John Candy and Steve Martin in the taxi from Trains, Planes, and Automobiles. And I said, "What? It was a film short?" He said, "Yeah, it was hysterical." That's the answer to your question. John had made a film short of his own with 3 improvisers that he knew full well were improvisers on Warner Brothers' dime. So, fuck it, man. I'll just, and if they want to say, well, yeah, but we own the script. No, they improvised this.
Yeah.
But the costumes and the cab was amazing, man. Somebody had dirt. I don't know if you saw the full tilt of that, but the ceilings and the things were all Mexican women and families, very Mexican. I didn't have to do any research. I knew who Doobie was immediately.
Right.
So that's where it is. And so John Candy has passed away. John Hughes has passed away. But I would love to see that movie.
Yeah, it's got to pop up on a behind-the-scenes DVD, Blu-ray somewhere along the way.
And it's got to be good because, first of all, John Hughes was in the booth, directing it, guiding it, because he would say no. Like, for instance, he would say, "Okay, let's do it again." But this time, Larry, in the last improv, you said this when John said that. So say that, but John, you don't have to say that. But Larry, you said a funny line. So John Hughes had memorized 90% of the improvisation, because when he kept on, going round and round all afternoon. Now maybe he was taking notes. Who knows? That's why he was in another place. It doesn't matter. He had in his head, because he said, "No, Larry, you didn't say that. You said this on the other time, and that was funny. But John, you didn't say anything."
Yeah.
So we had to follow not only improvising, but then improvising off of, yeah, but I can't improvise what I did the last time. I have to improvise something new while they're improvising most of what they said last time.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just bizarre. So
wildest thing.
To see that film, and if anybody out there knows about it, let me know.
Okay.
Odd know.
Yeah, somebody, please, because I would love to see it. What, if any, Guinness World Record do you think you could or would want to break?
What Guinness book record? What Guinness record would I want to break?
Yeah,
working in show business.
For as many roles as you could possibly get?
No, the longest, in other words, he performed until he was 145.
Longest career. Gotcha.
Longest in show business. Nobody.
That's a good one.
145, man. That's cool.
What's the best thing about your life?
Open mic nights.
Do you still do them?
No, but I'm going to go back. Let me see if I can come up with one that's not so clever. What's the best thing in my life?
Yeah.
I'll tell you, man, this is the truth. Yeah. I'm writing a book about my life, so I have a panoply of things to choose from, very consciously and very local and now. So I'm going to say the best thing was, and they're both the same, in my life, not in show business. I had a girlfriend in San Francisco in the committee. Her name was Kathy. She went on a trip, and she had a little girl named Katie. And we lived together, and I was working in the committee, and we lived right near the committee. And she wanted to go on the Merry Pranksters Were Coming for Your Daughters trip with Ken Kesey and the Merry Pranksters on the bus trip. I don't know. It was pretty famous. It was in all newspapers. But they went across. Ken Kesey got a busload of hippies in the 60s. And they went across country on this big tour, music, hippie, marijuana tour. Everybody lived on the bus or had tents, which they piled wigwams on the roof of this bus, and they set up these tents, 5 tents, in the suburbs of cities across the town. And Kathy wanted to go on that. And the Merry Pranksters were an LSD group. They were very far out. They were the most far out group in the United States. That was what they were in the 60s. And they got Ken Kesey to pay for them, to invest in this thing. And he was going to go on it with them. And they gathered a lot of people. They started in San Francisco. They were from San Francisco. And they were going to go to England, on this bus tour. And Ken Kesey was going to go. And Kathy got the Merry Pranksters, who knew the committee. They would hang out with Ken Kesey in San Francisco, but they would come to see the shows high on LSD in the back, and they would stand in the back. They didn't bother anybody. They were really cool. They understood that they were on LSD, and they acted accordingly. So they never got busted. They were always, but they did shows that they were on acid, and you can tell, wow, this is an acid show. So she met them on the street, and they got to talking, and she liked them right away. She loved weird, crazy people. So she met them, and she invited her up to our apartment. So when I came home one afternoon after rehearsal, there was the Merry Pranksters getting high. They had brought their own marijuana, and we had some too, and then we were smoking, and I thought it was too weird. But she left with them on the Merry Pranksters trip and left her daughter, Katie, with me. And Kathy disappeared from Katie's and our lives for 3 months. That was the tour. She went on for 3 months. And I said, yeah, let's leave her. So those 3 months with a 4-year-old little girl, and I say it in the book, but sleeping, putting to bed as a single dad, putting to bed a 4-year-old little girl and waking up with her and feeding her and taking care of her and hanging out with her all day, because I didn't have a babysitter. I didn't have that much money. I would take her to we would go to rehearsals together. She would watch rehearsals. This 4-year-old Katie would sit with the director with her crayons, and he would direct. He would sit in the audience in the theater, and he would direct. He had a table, and she would sit next to him with her crayons, and she would either watch rehearsals and laugh, and we, rehearsing, would really get off. When she would laugh, that would mean, oh, that's going in show. That's going in show. If Katie laughed, that was going in the show. Or if she got bored, she'd color. And actually, the director looked forward to her, being there with him.
Yeah.
He set out a chair for her.
That's a good barometer.
Or crayons.
Yeah.
I would hang out with her. If I had a meeting, I would take her with me. During the show, Gary Goodrow, who was one of the actors with me, had 2 children of his own with his wife. So she would go, and if she didn't come to the show, she would go over to Gary's house. I would drop off Katie at Gary's house, and they were about the same age, or they were a little older. They were about 10 or 12, but they liked her. They were friends. So she would stay there, and then I would go on after the show. I'd pick her up. She was sleeping. I'd wake her up, carry her home, put her to bed.
Hi, this is your friendly neighborhood radio DJ Oddman. Just wanted to let you know that the Odd Pod has an official merch shop set up for all the oddities eager to get covered in a bit of odd. Or maybe you want to seduce your partner by slipping into something a little more odd.
Ooh la la.
Maybe you just want to wallpaper a room in your house with stickers, because we got them too.
I'm gonna need more stickers.
You can find a link on our page via Facebook or on our page over at tapdetroit.com/The Odd Pod. So show your support and love for the Odd Pod today by picking up something from our store.
We are the Chinchillionaires from the shores of St. Clair. St. Clair Shores, Michigan. And when we're feeling odd, which is much of the time, we listen to The Odd Pod on tapdetroit.com. We want... Oh, come on! I don't care. You're cleaning that up.
You're doing, we choose to believe, 'cause we've been through it. What you don't know is we've been watching. The time is close, and we are legion. Anybody with a little bit of intellect, I get a measure of respect. What I said is what I meant. Mix the cement, build a wall, then I tear it all down. Run it till it doesn't make a sound. All I gotta do is really say I'm gonna prove who's who till I'm blue in the face. Maybe we can take it on the road and do a show. It'll be a whole new level where the devil doesn't go. What I mean is, don't say it. I can see it. I don't wanna. You don't mean it. Once again, we are legion. What I mean is, don't say it. I can see it. I don't wanna. You don't mean it. Once again, we are legion. You're doing, we choose to believe, 'cause we've been through it. What you don't know is we've been watching. Your time is close, and we are legion. I was in the middle of a sin, and when I could, I had to take a look around. The sun went down. Everyone I knew, I had to kill him. When I did, I finally saw clear. The beast stood near. I sharpened my spear, the fear went away. Staring in the mirror, and it was me, it went crazy. Maybe I was dreaming, but I see it and I believe that it was real, 'cause I feel this demon in me. What I mean is, don't say it. I can see it. I don't wanna. You don't mean it. Once again, we are legion. What I mean is, don't say it. I can see it. I don't wanna. You don't mean it. Once again, we are legion. You're doing, we choose to believe, 'cause we've been through it. What you
I guess that's what they all say. Please take me in, please take me in. I'm ready for the judgment day. Ready for the judgment day. I'm confessing my sins. I got myself in some real big trouble again. Somebody take me in. I got myself in some real big trouble, some real big trouble again. I'm innocent, I'm innocent. I guess that's what they all say. Please take me in, please take me in. I'm ready for the judgment day. Ready for the judgment day. I'm crawling out of my skin. I got myself in some real big trouble, some real big trouble again. Lost in love, restless, empty heart. Deep again, I just gotta get some. Searching for the ultimate pleasure. I couldn't avoid the street, so I can see. Picked up this card full of promises. Sneezing up, this is how it said. This is easy. 69 ways how to make it. This is easy. Give you everything you always needed. I took the risk for good. But the statue is so untrue. Such a pleasure service, yes indeed. Tell me, honey, what you need. This is easy. Give me everything I always needed. This is easy. It's my heart so easy. Twas love suicide. Suicide.
This just in. It seems the entire planet is being overtaken by a force unlike anything we've ever seen before. Its tentacles reach across the entire globe, from Beijing to Boston, from Moscow to Madrid. There seems to be no escaping its influence. It seems life as we know it will be forever changed now that the Odd Pod has arrived. To stay up to date on all developments, and we're urging that you stay informed, you can hear the latest information about the Odd Pod by searching for it on all major podcasting platforms. Remember, we can only be as safe as we are vigilant.
TapDetroit.com was nice enough to give me a new home for my brand of insanity. You're listening to The Odd Pod. Stick around after and check out all the great content and music available only on TapDetroit.com.
Well, it seems like a reasonable request.
Thanks for checking out The Odd Pod. If you want to hear the whole show, consider becoming a patron of our Patreon. Head to patreon.com/The Odd Pod. We're also all over social media like an STI that won't wash off. Head to tapdetroit.com/The Odd Pod to follow us today. We're already following you, and you forgot to buy milk.